All right, folks. Terrible sun. Here we go. Anyway, goal today is to start working on fixing the problems with my lift. Biggest problem I've got is the camber, which is how the tire goes like this. This is the driver's side, and then this is the passenger side. That toe end I'm trying to fix, and because I'm on a TTB, we've got these arms. The pivot, one's there, other one's back up under here somewhere on the other side, I believe. Basically what happens is when you lift the whole vehicle, this angle right here this starts dropping down farther. It just changes the pivot. So the idea is to extend that down, drop that down, to get all of this linkage down properly. So for that, I bought this kit off of eBay. It looks very similar to, what's the name of the company? Tough Country. And I had originally ordered theirs, but they're so far behind, and I wanted to get this done so I could stop eating up tires. I wound up doing this one, and this was 150 bucks. It was a great deal. Really nice pieces, really nice hardware as well. And that's a shackle flip kit for the rear. I'm gonna lift the rear, but the first thing is to get the geometry right up here. So that's the start. Okay, so once you got this sucker up in the air, you want to remove this bracket. And this bracket is hanging right up here, right up there. You can see two of the mounting holes right up there, and then on the other side there's two more bolts over there. You can see those like that. And I'm going to the next step, and I'm replacing these with some energy suspension ones since these are just trashed. So energy suspensions told me that I don't have to keep the inner shell, so we'll see how this goes. Here's a new bracket. And they've engineered it so that it puts it in the exact same position. So pretty nifty. I'm happy. So getting these bushings out, it is a pain. But as you see, they too come out that way. They just take a bunch of pounding. So what you do is you see there's a little metal around here. These are kind of folded out a little bit. You gotta push those in just a little bit and start pounding a little bit. It'll start coming loose. This used to be flush right here, and now it's created a gap. So I may hit it with the torch a little bit more. This is relatively easy down here in California, but with rust, I don't know what to tell you folks, but yep, I'm gonna keep after it. Okay, so this is how it was installed. All right. So as soon as I pounded on it from the back a little bit, after those I mushroomed these and flared them inwards. You can see better like here. If I did that all the way around, this would have been a breeze. But it just shot out after a little bit, so easy peasy. So I'm thinking, well, I got this one out here. I think it would be wise to go ahead and replace the other one first, because otherwise this pivot axle, this bracket's going to be in the way. Yeah, so let's do that. All right, so now, come on, camera. There we go, got that almost knocked out. Just punch that out the rest of the way, and that should drop down. I should have access to the other bushing. Okay, so now we're under the truck. This is the back side. There was I guess 17 millimeter bolt, I don't know. But here's the back of the old bushing on the passenger side arm. And what I've done is just stuck a crowbar to keep this pushed down, and that's just supporting. It's not really lifting anything. You kind of want to leave the weight on the truck onto the ground, obviously. But as you can see here, this looks like it's all one piece, and it probably will be rusted together for some of you guys, but for me it's not the case. So you can see how it's kind of flared out a little bit. The idea is just to punch this back over that way and just crimp it in on itself. And when you do, then you'll be able to just punch this sucker right on through. So my crowbar fell out, but with a couple whacks of the hammer, you can see that's starting to separate right on that crease there. So it does work. All right, here comes some loud noises. Oh, that's tough. Ah, she's almost out. Several minutes later, they got it out. So I'm thinking what might be the best action is if you can get a cutoff wheel in there and just cut that lip off. That's probably going to be the best. The problem that you have is getting anywhere towards the top of that is a pain in the butt. So I got about 3/4 of it mushroomed and pushed in beyond the casing. But where I struggled was at the top. You can see where it's still just a little flared there, just a little bit. And I had to take a file and start filing up here to just break that lip off. But it worked. Alright, so now that my bushing's out, I'm working on getting the bracket installed, which you can kind of see back here. Let's see. Oh. You probably can't see crap. Or hear it. There we go. There's the bracket. See the 2 holes? Now I gotta drill 1/2-inch holes through there and install some more bolts. Once I do that, bracket is in, and just tighten it down and done with that side. Add my bushing and install the arm. All right, got those holes drilled. Wasn't easy. Had to put some weight on, hit a lift up on here to pivot the arm downward to get some room in there, but now I can put the bolts into the brackets. They recommend to use Loctite, and that bracket's done. I got 2 more holes to drill on this one, but I think they'll be easier. Of course, famous last words. Nothing better than losing a nut. Found the little bastard. Thanks to my wife for finding it. It was hiding under there. Do you ever invariably just punch yourself in the mouth while working on a car? Anyway, not lined up at all properly, but it's at least tightened up that side. So now I'm going to work on the bracket here. Had to drill holes in the frame there. It's normal. Those are a little goofy, so I had to do different bolts there, but and also had to clear out the holes in the bracket to the frame. They were pretty close to being right on, but they weren't quite there. So I'm gonna get 2 more bolts sunk in there, and then try to get that damn thing to line up in there. I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of twisted a little bit and makes it a little difficult to get in there. Alright, you can tell this is much flatter, the way a solid axle should be. So that's the whole purpose of the drop. As you can see, it changes the angle of the pivot. And also, pro tip, come along. So sometimes this hole over here where the bolt is doesn't line up side to side. So I just used a come along to bring the whole axle together, and that did it for me. I think tonight I'm going to just get the shocks hooked back up and set this down on the ground and see what happens. Come on, shut off. Alright, so I've still yet to do the pitman arm and the, what do they call them, the radius arm bushings, and I may extend those, but that's where we're hanging at full droop. My shocks are probably a little short at this point, and these are obviously not adjusted properly. So my guess is I'm going to have the opposite problem where the tire's going to tilt like that, and so on. But at least I got adjustability built in. Alright, see you when it's on the ground. Alright, Meow, now this is what I was chasing. See how that's pretty damn level? And now my tire has got full contact patch on the road. I mean, it's going to need a full alignment, but I'm going to get some new tires anyway. But I am very much pleased with that. Should ride much better. See how those polyurethane bushings work and all that good stuff. Pitman arm, probably, I don't know, sometime this week. Drop that link down. Idea is that that's supposed to be parallel with the axle as well. So, here you go. Fucking mint. Oh, earmuffs, kids. Earmuffs. Mint. Psych. So it looks like my drop brackets created a problem. So I've got some taller springs I'm going to put in. I've lost a bunch of lift. It's like 3 inches on this side and 2 inches on the other side. So I got some taller springs I'm going to pop in. Yeah.